Stop filming me!
If you've been listening to TV speakers that only has 10 watts by 2, I think it's time for an update. So today we're going to take a look at this Samsung soundbar, and it's called the B630F. Some of the features of this soundbar is that it's 3-channel, has Dolby Atmos, DTS support, and with Samsung TVs you do get adaptive sound which adjusts itself based off the content. Another thing about this particular soundbar is that you can connect 2 Bluetooth devices to it, so you can listen to your audio and enjoy a party just from the one speaker. So if you've been thinking about upgrading, this might be the one for you. On this video, we're going to compare TV speakers to a soundbar and see if it's time for you to update. But first, let's go ahead and get it out of the box. I bought this soundbar from Samsung.com for $219 when it's on sale, but it does retail for $299. Now, I don't have really high expectations about what this is, and just so you know, this one does not support the Q Symphony sound. So here we have the subwoofer. The bottom box, we have some paperwork, and I always wonder who comes up with the design to package these items. And the weird thing about this box is that you have to rip something to get the speaker out of it, because this doesn't fold down, and over here this doesn't come apart. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just kind of ripped it here from the side so I can slide the soundbar out. I guess I could just cut the tape right here and it'd been fine, but here we have the speaker. On the back of it, there's a power cord input. Over here we have a optical input as well as a USB-C, probably for updating or playing media. And then on this side, we have 2 HDMIs. There's an in and out. And I do suspect that that pass-through only supports 60 Hertz, so just keep that in mind. So we'll go ahead and get this subwoofer opened and get the styrofoam off of it. And here's a closer look at the subwoofer. It's got a massive bass port on the back of it. We have a power cord input, and this is a button for pairing it to the main speaker. Looks like a pretty decent speaker, nothing over the top. And with that bass port on the back, looks like it's gonna have a lot of punch to it. Now in the box, it's gonna come with this optical cable, power cord, a second power cord for the subwoofer. And here's a closer look at the remote control. You have your input, your pairing button, navigation, sound modes, woofer volume, main volume, and it's a pretty decent looking remote control with all the functionality that you need. And the last few things is it does come with a user guide, and looky here, it does come with wall mount brackets as well. Here's a closer look at the Samsung B630F. It's a pretty basic looking soundbar, and on top of it you have controls like your power, your volume, and your inputs. To set it up is very easy. All you need to do is plug it into the eARC on the back of your television if you want to get the best sound. Then plug the other end into the back of the soundbar where it says eARC. In some cases, you might have to sit the soundbar in front of the television, but Samsung designed the soundbar to go underneath most TVs when they're at their highest position. And just in case you wonder, this soundbar is 33.5 inches wide, so it'll fit most televisions. The last thing you need to do is plug in your subwoofer power supply, and most of the time the soundbar will connect completely automatic. Now if you have a Samsung television, I'm going to show you how you set this up, and keep in mind this soundbar will work with any television with the options I showed you earlier as far as HDMI, fiber optic. If we press on the sound, you can see that the soundbar is already connected. And the great thing is having a Samsung soundbar on a Samsung TV, you then get all the different sound modes built right into the TV's interface, so you don't have to use the remote control that came with the soundbar. Now one thing about this particular model, it doesn't support the Q Symphony, and how you know that is that when you go into the soundbar mode, you can choose that particular device, but when you try to apply the settings, it says not available. So if you go with some of the more expensive Samsung soundbars, you'll be able to adjust the position, the levels, and a few other settings in the television. You do have a few other settings, like you can adjust the woofer, but you cannot control the EQ because it has built-in presets. I like to leave the HDMI eARC in auto mode, and you have your digital audio outputs such as PCM, auto, or pass-through. And just keep in mind that the auto volume does not work whenever you hook a soundbar up to it. Now I'm going to show you a comparison between the Q7F speakers, which is 10 watts by 2, versus the soundbar, and it's a huge improvement. Not only bass response, but you have Dolby sound, and you do have DTS Virtual X that creates an immersive sound. But here's a listen to it. You tell me what you think in the comments below. So in my opinion, I think this is a great sounding soundbar. I'm very impressed with how the bass response, and it's a really balanced sound. Now, just going through all the different sound modes on camera, you can't hear it because of the mono microphone, but here I can get this nice surround sound around me. And again, that bass response was pounding the ground. So if you're looking for improvement over your TV speakers, this may be it. Now, one thing that I did notice on Samsung's website is that they say you can add rear speakers to the system, but I didn't find any model number whatsoever that's compatible. So if you do know one that can work with this B630F, please leave that in the comments below. With that being said, for the price of this soundbar, and if you have a Samsung TV or any type of television, I think you're gonna really like it. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks all for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.